Okay, I just finished watching Nimona, and usually for Netflix movies, they're usually bad. Because Netflix is normally known for their shows, not their movies. So every time I watch one of Netflix movies, I expect it to be bad. And the only reason why I even watched Nimona in the first place is because I thought it was going to be the Monday mystery movie of June 19th. But that turned out to be Ribon and Teenage Kraken. Is what it turned out to be. And I was excited to watch Nimona based on the trailer. And this movie was released in theaters for a week as well. Meaning that if Netflix has confidence in it like that, it's gonna be good. So, I watched it, and here's my review on it. Let's start off with everything I liked about this film. And for starters, I am a fan of the animation in here. It has like this 3D video game and Across the Spider-Verse type of style into it. So like kind of like an anime feel, kind of, but more 3D-ish. I enjoyed the animation in here. It's not like we've seen better, but we also seen worse. I enjoyed the animation in here. It was fun to look at, and they have like this like kind of big scale animation. And then the story. Now, both stories they have in here are really good. Like, one is like the lesson of the film, and the other one's the one you see in the trailer. Well, also the trailer has kind of kept it hidden, but just is okay. So the first one's gonna be the plot synopsis of the film. But yeah, the first story I really liked. Like that, I was intrigued. I was hooked into the movie from that first story. And then the second story was good as well. It was the lesson of the film. I'll talk more about that in a second. Now, this movie keeps you guessing through the first story, and you're trying to find out the answer to the problem. Yeah, this movie did a good job at keeping you hooked and getting you more intrigued for each thing. Now, the way they told Nimona's story, at first I was like, okay, we don't know who this character is. Why don't they have some backstory in here? But then they told it at the end of the film, which then I was like, okay, this fits way better than if they were to tell it at the beginning. Well, also at the same time, if they told it at the beginning, then throughout the film, it has more of an impact. But I like it. I liked how they told it at the end, and then I'll rewatch for the film. It's gonna be even better. Now, I did really enjoy this film, but let's talk about what I didn't like about Nimona. And Nimona, okay, take out credits. This movie was 1 hour and 24 minutes. Yeah, that is extremely short. But I did say I'll come back to the second story in here. And that second story, the way they told it felt out of place. Like, it was important, but the way they told it, it felt out of place and made the pacing feel longer than it actually was. And in the last 10 minutes, I was like, this is a different movie than what we started this movie out as. And it kind of changed plots completely. Like, at first it worked, but then at the end is like, okay, this is a different movie. And that made the pacing feel longer. And that second story didn't really need to be in here, but it's an important lesson. So what I do feel like they should have been doing is the first story should have carried out entirely, solve that kind of, but have an impact on the second story that leads into that. This movie had the first story, it was solved, but then it was unsolved again, and it led into the second story, which worked. But it made the pacing feel longer, and I felt like they could have fixed it. And then, not going into specifics, but a person in here, the one behind all of it, basically the villain of the story, not the main character, but the story, they didn't really have a motive. And it's hard to talk about this without spoiling it, but they never, like, told a motive that made, like, they never told a motive at all. Like, you have no idea why that character did that. They never explain it at all. And you don't know why they did that. So, which was disappointing because that's an important part of the film. You need to know why they did that and start this whole plot up. But they never address it. And that's like halfway through the film when they find that out. And then it leads into the second story. So, I was confused why they did not do a motive. Maybe they did. Maybe I just missed it, but I'm sure they didn't, and I really wish they did a motive in here. But, all in all, Nimona is a really good movie. They needed to shorten the second plot and have a motive for somebody in here. But other than that, the animation is beautiful. The story is really intriguing, and you're hooked in it, and you're constantly guessing and intrigued into the story. Nimona is an amazing main character. Her backstory is told the best way. And this is a really good movie for Netflix. Because Netflix usually don't release its movies. Well, to be fair, this was originally going to be a Disney Blue Skies film. But Netflix saved it. Which explains why it's so good. So, yeah. If you're usually not a fan of Netflix movies, like me, check this one out. I do recommend it. Watch it as soon as possible. I'm planning on rewatching this film because I really liked it. Out of 10, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching. Follow my Letterboxd, Dakota Man Movie, No Spaces. Subscribe and like the video. Comment down below your thoughts and see you guys all next time. Goodbye.